Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. For this particular series, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, That Darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are both going into the story completely new, with almost no knowledge of the story or world.
Each segment, we intend to cover what happens in each new chapter and discuss our experience along the way.
Hold on to your butts, because this is Ascension Unleashed, a blind read-through, and today we will be covering Chapter 43.
Chapter 43! It's a blind kitty, I'm scared.
Yeah, well, why? Why is it a blind? When there are blinds, it means something really crazy is going to happen.
Yup.
Calcia's death. We did Calcia's death as a blind, didn't we?
Yes, I believe we did.
Yeah. Because I remember crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because blinds are scary.
Very scary. And we didn't go straight into it this time. In the past, when we have done blind blinds, we went straight into them. This one, we had to wait a week. So my mind has been going very fast, imagining what it could be, right? So one option is Ellen returns to the city to find that Vin has left him. Like, Vin went off with Zane.
Off screen?
Off screen,
Okay.
yes. We get it from Ellen's POV first, and she has just left the city. The other option is Justas seeks immediate retribution and sends the Kolos to attack, because he was pretty pissed when we last left him.
Okay. So Justice POV. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Justas.
Oh no,
although that would be great.
So we get the battle, basically. We get that.
Yeah. From whoever's perspective. I would love a Justas POV. I say now, I bet if we do get it, it'll be terrifying. The other potential option is Vin gets very upset with Ellen when she sees that he has the sword for some reason and realizes what he did, and then they have a fight.
What? Because she realizes he went and put himself at risk.
Yeah, without telling her.
Yeah.
And of course,
I'm expecting,
in Vin's mind, this will really cement that he doesn't need her anymore because he can fight Kolos now too.
Yeah, and carry that sword. And she was injured. She failed, basically. Yeah. So I think, in terms of what I think is likely, I actually don't. I don't think that we have Vin running away off screen. I would feel like that would be such a switcheroo and too much of a gimmick, or not a gimmick. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, it would be too much flair for something very big that doesn't need that. We need. Like, I do think we're near to the time where they run off, basically, but I don't know about it happening off screen, and we're with Ellen.
Wouldn't it be?
I think we're gonna get a fight. We're gonna get a fight between them, or confrontation, a discussion between.
So sad to see.
But they need to. They haven't been speaking. They haven't been communicating.
What will it do for Kelsier's religion for Vin to leave with Zane right before the attack, seemingly abandoning the Ska, the heir of the survivor?
Usually what crazy rabid religious people would do with that is, we have been punished, she found us unworthy, so she ran away. But I'm not sure if they're at that fever pitch yet in for them to be able to make that determination. Maybe they will feel abandoned for real. I feel like, do you feel like that religion would do that turn and go, we were unworthy of the survivor, she left us? I don't think they're that pious at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it would, because she's like a real person there who can talk to them. It doesn't feel like a more spiritual element. I feel like there would be a more practical. Feeling response. Oh man. Okay, I've been putting it off.
Let's
Shall
go.
we do this?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, let's
scared.
get into it.
Chapter 43. The others called me mad. As I have said, that may be true. Doc Brown
Okay.
vibes?
Mm, I don't get it, but I'm sure it's funny. But
Not really.
but for me, I'm just like, Quan, we had this discussion. Okay? We spoke about this last week. We spoke like we understand it's all about you. Okay? Others call me mad. Okay, so that I suppose if we relate this to whatever happens here, we got to keep that in mind. Being thought crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what else to do with this. I really
Yeah,
don't.
other than no, as I've said, that may be true. Okay, edgy boy, Quan. What is happening? Just get to the point.
This is all about him. I think you really highlighted this for me in the
Hmm.
last chapter, and I'd have to go back and reread much of the epigraphs, but they do all, in some way, seem to really be about him.
Yeah, lately it's just the past few chapters, quite a few chapters. It's just been about him, and it's like cool. I understand, but we really need information here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Mist poured into the dark room, collapsing around Vin like a waterfall as she stood in the open balcony doorway. Elend was a motionless lump sleeping in his bed a short distance away. What? Where are
Okay,
we?
so we had no, but now we have the it's like they had the fight off screen
Okay.
because that's how I'm seeing it. That he's asleep after he came home. They didn't fight, or maybe they did. I don't know, but like I think we would have. Well, we'll see if there's more in this POV
Okay.
that makes us think there was a confrontation.
Yeah, this
Wow, where do you
has
think we are? That she took him away?
no, I clearly this is after the fact, but
Yeah.
again, like as has happened I think in the past with this book, it's like I want to know what happened right after. So I think Sanderson's just fast forwarding us a little bit further than I had expected. It's not a bad thing or anything. It's just
Mm. I
I'm
prefer this.
orienting myself.
Yeah, but I prefer this fast forward to Ellen finding her gone. I want them there to be confrontation between them before she just runs away. Like I would have maybe found her running away, like
Don't
without us
don't you
learning anything.
don't you
I don't know.
think it would be so tragic for Ellen to come back bruised and beaten from his fight, carrying the sword, to walk into his room to find the door open and a note from Vin just saying goodbye or some tragically melodramatic farewell.
I can't. I'm not
Wouldn't
good
that be
enough for
sad?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be sad. It would upset me.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm glad that's not what happens, but okay. Anyway, I am oriented now. We are a little bit past he's asleep. Apparently, mistress, Orasor had explained, he went into the Kolos camp alone. You were asleep and none of us knew what he was doing. I don't think he managed to persuade the creatures not to attack, but he did come back with some very useful information. Okay, good. What was in the pouches? I want to know.
You're like, no, obviously we're not going to find that out too soon because we were off the cliffhanger. We're still hanging there. We're not gonna get a grip that quickly.
No.
Nice.
Orasor sat on his haunches beside her. He had not asked why Vin had come to Ellen's rooms in the night, nor why she stood quietly watching the former king. She couldn't protect him. She tried so hard, but the impossibility of keeping even one person safe suddenly seemed so real to her, so tangible that she felt sick. Oh,
Just the weight of it. She's like, I can't keep him safe. I am fallible, and I might lose him. I could have lost him today. That's basically one of the biggest things that you would be feeling.
yeah. And I don't think there's anything you could have done, Vin, to stop Ellen from doing what he did. Not gonna lie.
No, yeah, you couldn't. Well, you wouldn't have. I really don't think she would have strapped him up.
Yeah. Elend had been right to go out. He was his own man, competent, kingly. What he had done would only put him in more danger. Fear had been a companion of hers for such a long time that she had grown accustomed to it, and it rarely caused a physical reaction in her. Yet watching him sleep quietly, she found her hands traitorously unsteady. I like that phrase, traitorously unsteady. There's personality there, yeah?
Yeah. You're telling me you don't want that to show, and these damn hands, these traitor hands are showing what I feel.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
Mm.
she's afraid is what we should get from this
Mhm. Mhm.
thing, but like in a different and more serious way.
Yeah, and we haven't had Vin small and shaking in a very long time.
Hmm.
I saved him from the assassins. I protected him. I'm a powerful Elemencer. Why then do I feel so helpless? So alone?
She walked forward, bare feet silent as she stepped up to Ellen's bed. He did not wake. She stood for a long moment, simply looking at him, peaceful in his slumber. Orasor growled quietly. Vin spun. A figure stood on the balcony, straight-backed and black, a near silhouette even to her tin-enhanced eyes. Mist fell before him, pooling on the floor, spreading out like an ethereal moss.
Zane.
She whispered. Oh man, is she
Okay.
gonna leave
Okay.
him right now while he's unconscious?
Yeah, dude, listen, she was gonna, in your mind, she's gonna leave with a note. Okay. But I mean, good boy, Arasur. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he growls, like, no, listen. So he's the one that, because she's deep in thought. She didn't hear him approach. Arasur did.
Mm.
And also just the Zane. Zane is, we don't need you right here while she's feeling this. She's feeling helpless. She's feeling alone. Okay, so there's the beat. And then Zane swoops in, quite literally, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know that she's vulnerable to this sort of thing. So
True.
here's the moment. I feel that's it. She's going to be convinced because she's alone. We just had that. She's alone. She can't. But there's Arasur there. So
Yeah. Just
ooh, do we get Arasur? Like, no,
reveal.
mistress. Do we get the reveal? Oh, please, that would be cool.
Does this also mean we're not gonna know what was in the pouches this chapter? I'm gonna be very sad if
Oh,
we don't.
oh, come on. I don't think we are, and that is
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's useful information. That's all we got this chapter. Thanks.
He is not safe, Vin, he said, stepping slowly into the room, pushing a wave of mist before him. She looked back at Elend.
He never will be.
I came to tell you that there is a traitor in your midst. Vin looked up.
Who?
She asked. The man, Demio. He contacted my father a short time before the assassination attempt, offering to open the gates and give up the city. Ooh, that's a lie.
Yeah, sorry, no, it just doesn't fit. It
And
doesn't fit.
it doesn't. And here's the thing. Vin had investigated Demio for suspicion of
Mm.
being the Khandra. And here's the thing. Assuming Orasor is the spy, Zane should know that Vin knows that there's already a Khandra spy. Now, Zane didn't say here there's a Khandra in your midst,
Mm.
which is an important distinction, but I still feel as if Vin should be able to extrapolate that there could be some dishonesty going on here. I have the hardest time imagining Demio doing this.
Yeah. Look, it's not completely beyond the realm of possibility because it could have been. It could be but just doesn't seem like him after what we've had him be like. He's helping Ellen and all of that. He doesn't. Yeah, and we know that he was basically like really devoted to Calcia. It just doesn't work. But if he's a Khandra, I suppose then it works because then we don't have the actual man. We just have the Khandra acting as him. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, so he would have to be the Khandra because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Right. And this supposedly happened before the assassination attempt, which was right when we got Vin witnessing Demio's powerful sermon about hope
Mm.
and surviving. Now, if Zane had come in and said, Demio came to my father tonight after Elend had returned, damaged, weakened,
Mm.
then I could maybe almost believe it. But even then, I don't think that's
Mm.
a Demio act.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a reveal to us. To me, both of us, I don't feel like we're like, oh, this is confirmation. It's Demur. No, we just don't. We don't trust Zane, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't fit really. We need more proof that he's a conjurer for it to be. And then I'm just like, bro is very busy. He's got a lot going on. He's preaching. He's helping Erland, and then he's also being a traitor. And I don't know. It's a bit, you need more of a focused villainy.
Yeah.
So, oh well, then look what she says.
Vin frowned.
That makes no sense. We agree.
Agreed. Zane stepped forward. Set's work, Vin. He is a snake even among High Lords. I don't know how he bribed away one of your own men, but I do know that Demio tried to provoke my father to attack the city during the voting. Vin
That
hesitated.
makes it. Oh,
What?
sorry, no. That fact, this point now that he's just said, makes it even more unbelievable.
Yeah, Demio wouldn't take a bribe.
No, but no, so it's a bribe, and yeah, I know how he bribed away one of your own men. I don't think that's so, but then also tried to provoke my father to attack the city during the voting.
Hmm.
When?
I really hope Vin is exactly as skeptical as we're being.
But she's so vulnerable.
This is true. Vin hesitated. If Straff had attacked at that moment, it would have reinforced the impression that he had sent the assassins in the first place.
Okay, hold on. I need to hold on to that. So if Straff had attacked at that moment, okay, so
If the attack happened at the same time as the assassination, they would look
hmm,
coordinated, as if they
there
were
would be,
deliberate.
we could blame it on it would be causing Straff to look like the bad guy. Well,
Yes.
he is,
More
but
so than
yes,
he
okay,
is.
more so than Set. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Elend and Penrod were supposed to die, Zane said. With the assembly in chaos, Set could have taken charge. He could have led his forces, along with your own, against Straff's attacking army. He would have become the savior who protected Luthadel against the tyranny of an invader. Except Set was attacked during the meeting, and to our recollection, Penrod wasn't.
But Set supposedly faux attacked,
Yeah, I
isn't he?
remember
To
that
make,
part.
make himself look like he to rule himself out. He got
Y-
false attacked.
Yeah, and that's all well and good, but I don't remember any descriptions of Penrod specifically being attacked during the event.
Yeah, and it makes sense that Vin wouldn't be seeing that. She was focused on her
True.
own attack.
True.
Just make it remembering the epigraph right now, just as we are in the zane of this all. I understand why he made this the others call me mad. Like, yeah, that's a good epigraph for a Zane chapter.
Mm.
Zane. Madness. Yeah.
Vin stood quietly. Just because Zane said it didn't mean it was true. Yet her own
Yes, Vin.
investigation. What?
I'm just saying yes, Vin.
Yet her own investigations whispered that Demio was the traitor. What?
Uh, because other people weren't the traitor, Demio is the only other possibility. Is that what you're telling me?
I know you
Yeah.
suspected him, but he was pretty cleared, I thought, in your
Eh,
mind.
not completely cleared.
Not
It
completely,
requires
but pretty.
Duralumin his ass.
Duralum. Well, Zane isn't here saying that Demio is the Condra spy, just that he was
Yeah, but
bribed.
I'm just yeah. But still, we could have figured that out.
Yeah,
That's the only the Demir was the traitor. That like that's exactly what she's saying here. Her investigations whispered he was the traitor. Traitor, Chandra, same thing in her mind.
true, I think.
She's swapped those words several times, traitor and Chandra.
Not in this chapter yet.
No, not in this chapter, but in the past. Like,
Yeah,
when
but
she thinks about the Condra. Yeah.
there's never been a thought about a non-Condra traitor up to this point.
No, there hasn't. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, yet her own investigations whispered that Demio was the traitor. She'd recognized the assassin at the assembly, and he had been from Set's retinue, so she knew that Zane was telling the truth about at least one thing. Plus, Set had precedent for sending Allomancer assassins, the ones who had attacked 2 months ago, when Vin had used the last of her atium. Zane had saved her life during that fight. She clenched her... She's
So, yeah, I'm just
talking herself into it.
yeah, she's talking herself into it because Zane saved my life. I should trust him. So just
Mm,
that line's so important, like, for her. She, like, to lock all of this stuff in place.
yeah. But we know that the attack was perpetrated by the brothers, Straff's sons,
Yes.
Ellen's half-brothers, siblings.
Okay. I want to ask you about this. Okay, so she swears that one assassin was from Set's retinue. So I don't know if that just is Zane planting one of his Alamance brothers
That was my
in Set's
presumption.
camp. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's like it doesn't matter that he was in Set's thing. That's Zane's man anyway.
Yes, and
And I
it
say Zane,
was...
not really Strap. Yeah.
Sure. And it was Vin's jump to conclusion that Set
Mm,
had hidden his own Allomancers amongst the
mm,
serving crew. Because
yeah.
on its face, it seems like a fair tactic or trick if you can
It's an
manage it.
assumption.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay,
But
so
then
yeah,
again,
we were
Set
on the
is
same
a
page.
very honest man. So why would he hide Allomancers?
Mm, yeah, but she quickly made an explanation to herself. So yeah, we're on the same page that it was, and the recognizability was actually because it's a brother. It's an Ellen brother.
Yeah.
And yes, because he was there.
She clenched her fists, frustration biting at her chest.
If he's right, then Dumur is dead, and an enemy Condra has been in the palace, spending his days just steps away from Illit. Even if Zane lies, we still have a tyrant inside the city, another without, a force of Kolos salivating over the people, and Illit doesn't need me, because there's nothing I can do.
Okay, there's a lot there. First off, just because there's nothing you can do doesn't mean that Ellen doesn't need you. There are a lot
Yeah.
of... First off, there's a lot of ways you can be useful, but just like being there for him, emotional support's a thing, love is a thing. But now, to contradict what we had just said, or I had just said, now she presumes that Demio is the Condra.
Mm-hmm. So she's just, and also that makes it seem a little bit more true, is that he hasn't come to say to her, there's a Condra in your midst and it's Demir. It's kind of like him leaving that out kind of, first of all, it covers him because it's not true. So if he can't find out, she can't find out that he lied, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
that easy. But it also just makes it more plausible that, okay, Zane doesn't know everything, so, and I know more, so she'll rather believe that.
Duralumin his ass.
His ass.
But that's really the thing to do, just to verify that Zane is lying before they go off together. Demio, I need you for a moment. Duralumined.
But then also, he doesn't necessarily have to be the Condor to be the traitor, though. Remember?
Yeah.
So even if she does Duralumin his ass, then she's gonna have to use the mind numbingly, like that mind. The fact that she's just numbed his mind, she's gonna have to use that to, like, as an interrogation technique. The point is, she could investigate further. She should.
How embarrassing would it be if Demio and Doxin were just two other Condra?
Oops. Just, there's two other Condor.
The whole time.
Yeah. Well, where does this third one? Oh, I guess everyone sent their Condor in. Yeah. Okay. Mm.
Is there anyone here who's not a Condra?
Vin. It's just Vin.
I see your frustration, Zane whispered, stepping up beside Ellen's bed, looking down at his sleeping brother. Ugh. I got really mad when I read that, and I was like, get the hell away from him, you uncool.
Crazy man.
I got very protective in that moment.
I guess I'm more protective of. I guess I know that him stepping up beside Ellen is also getting closer to Vin. So I'm like, stay away from Vin. Stay away from both of them. Just get out of there, please.
You keep listening to him. You want to protect him, but he won't let you. Zane looked up, meeting her eyes. She saw an implication in them. There was something she could do. The thing a part of her had wanted to do from the beginning. The thing she'd been trained to do. Oh.
Okay. So just kill.
Yeah, that's... Oh, man.
That's what we were... Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what if Vin goes in this chapter and kills Set and Strath, and then she goes to Ellen's being like, look how good I did. And Ellen just looks so disappointed. And that's what sends her away.
I think that would be cool. As in, like, cool, as in, it would be a good idea. It would be very tragic and sore and convincing. Do we think that's going to happen?
I feel like it could happen. It would be very dangerous if she's not fully well yet for her to try and go kill Set, at least. I mean,
Zane has to help her.
Zane could go with and try to help.
But then, yeah, why? What is Zane doing here?
Set almost killed the man you love, Zane said. Your Elend does as he wishes. Well, let us do as you wish. He looked into her eyes. We have been someone else's knives for too long. Let's show Set why he should fear us. Her fury, her frustration at the siege, urged her to do as Zane suggested. Yet she wavered, her thoughts in chaos. She had killed well, a short time before, and it had terrified her. Yet Elend could take risks, insane risks like traveling into an army of Kolos on his own. It almost felt like a betrayal. She had worked so hard to protect him, straining herself, exposing herself. Then a few days later, he wandered alone into a camp full of monsters.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get why she's angry.
Yeah, well, that comes from any loved one doing something stupid. You're gonna feel angry.
Yeah, it's not, oh no, because I protected you before and now you went and messed that all up. It's just literally, I love you. You didn't speak to me about this stupid thing you were going to do and you went and did it anyway. And I have to just deal with that. And you can be angry at your loved one. That she has anger there. And it does feel like a betrayal because it's like, why didn't you tell me at least? I could have come with you. All of that.
She gritted her teeth. Part of her whispered that if Elend wouldn't be reasonable and stay out of danger, she'd have to go and make sure the threats against him were removed. You're heading into bad territories, Vin. Don't say the thing you're about to say.
Let's go,
she whispered. Zane nodded. Realize this, he said. We can't merely assassinate him. Another warlord will take his place in his armies. We have to attack hard. We have to hit that army so soundly that whoever takes over for Set is so frightened that he withdraws.
That
Okay,
so we have to wanton slaughter. Is that what you're telling me? That we need that? And that makes me think about your theory a lot more. That she comes, look how, I don't think she would be like, look how good I did. But she would be like, I did this for you. And he's like, but you killed hundreds. You killed dozens of innocent people, I suppose he's going to call them. Yeah, that's how you lose Ellen. That's how they break up. Ooh.
That is how you lose Ellen. Yeah, I think doing something that not good. I'm hesitant to call it evil, but it's certainly not good.
That barbaric.
Vin paused, looking away from him, nails biting into her own palms. Tell me, he said, stepping closer to her. What would your Kelsier tell you to do? Man, and yesterday...
Get his name out of...
Yeah, get Kelsier's name out your mouth, Zane. But just last chapter, we were comparing Elend to Kelsier for doing his insane Kolos adventure. And now we're getting Darkfin.
Uh,
The answer was simple. Kelsier would never have gotten into this situation. He had been a hard man, a man with little tolerance for any who threatened those he loved. Set and Straff wouldn't have lasted a single night at Luthadel without feeling Kelsier's knife.
that just makes me think of Kelsier when after Marsh.
Yes.
Like that is what Kelsier, like you that is the thing she's thinking of there. That kind of, if you threaten people he loves, that kind of just scorched earth, that he just goes and messes stuff up. Okay, I do agree that is part of. Obviously, we know that's part of Kelsier. So she's just gone and she has cherry picked little bits of Kelsier of what to find out what he would do. That, which is what anyone does when they say, "What would so and so do?"
Mm-hmm.
So Darkvin is saying, "Hey, Kelsier's Dark Kelsier. Let's go."
Yep.
Literally.
There was a part of her that had always been awed by his powerful utilitarian brutality.
There are two ways to stay safe.
Reen's voice whispered to her.
Either be so quiet and harmless that people ignore you, or be so dangerous that they're terrified of you.
She met Zane's eyes and nodded. He smiled, then moved over and jumped out the window.
Oh, God. Orisia,
she whispered once he was gone.
my Atium.
The dog paused, then padded up to her, his shoulders splitting. Mistress, he said slowly, do not do this.
Yeah, don't do this.
Don't do this. Listen to him.
Oh, and he's just doing as told. Oh, he's so... I'm just thinking of how cute he is. Because he's a dog.
Yup. Listen to him. She glanced at Elend. She couldn't protect him from everything, but she could do something. She took the Atium from Orasor. Her hands no longer shook. She felt cold.
Set has threatened all that I love,
she whispered.
He will soon know that there is something in this world more deadly than his assassins, something more powerful than his army, something more terrifying than the Lord Ruler himself, and I am coming for him. Okay, Vin. Like, I know you are. You are that terrifying. Okay? But we don't want you to be.
Yeah.
Not now. No, not for this.
Don't do something you can't come back from.
Yeah.
She's been very certain that either Set or his son are Mistborn as well.
Mm-hmm.
That might play an interesting dynamic going into this.
I hate this. I hate this tension. I hate this. It all makes sense. I'm not criticizing. Like, I understand it's happening, but I'm very unhappy that it's happening.
Yeah.
So much feelings.
Mist duty, they called it. Every squad of soldiers had to take a turn standing in the dark with a sputtering torch. Someone had to watch, had to stare into those shifting, deceitful mists and wonder if anything was out there. Watching. Wellen knew there was. Okay. New POV.
Okay, Wellen.
New character.
I don't know.
I don't think he's gonna last. I think this is one of Set's guards and he's not gonna last.
It's a cameo.
Wellen knew there was. He knew it, but he never spoke. Soldiers laughed at such superstitions. They had to go out in the mists. They were used to it. They knew better than to fear it. Supposedly. Hey, Jarlot said, stepping up to the edge of the wall. Wells, do you see something out there? Of course he didn't. They stood with several dozen others on the perimeter of Keep Hasting, watching from the outer keep wall, a lower fortification perhaps 15 feet tall that surrounded the grounds. Their job was to look for anything suspicious in the mists. Okay, yep.
Okay,
Keep
so
Hasting.
it is a set. Yeah, it's a set guy.
Interesting that the name Jarlot is used for one of Set's guards, if this is indeed Set's guards, because I thought the central dominance was the French dominance, and Set is obviously not from the central dominance. So,
I don't know. Maybe it just his parents moved around.
Because that was so easy to do under the time of the Lord Ruler. Suspicious. That was the word they used. It was all suspicious. It was mist, that shifting darkness, that void made of chaos and hatred. Wellen had never trusted it. They were out there. He knew. Something moved in the darkness. Wellen stepped back, staring into the void, his heart fluttering, hands sweaty as he raised his spear. Yeah, Jarlo said, squinting. I swear I see. It came, as Wellen had always known it would, like 1,000 gnats on a hot day, like a hail of arrows shot by an entire army. Coins sprayed across the battlements, a wall of shimmering death, hundreds of trails zipping through the mists. Metal rang against stone, and men cried out in pain.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Vin. This is what we're talking about. This is the innocent men sort of stuff instead rather than stealth. Like she could have easily gotten past these people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually what she would have done. This, I suppose, like early Calcia, he's like, oh, they serve the nobleman, therefore they're guilty. I will kill them. That sort of thing. That was part of us, you know, being uncomfortable with how Calcia operates. Oh, and now here we've got this, where it's just basically machine gun
Yep.
fire.
Here's the thing.
Just spray. Ah.
Kelsier would have wanted to go in and do this, but someone would have been there to stop him. Vin was there to stop him when he wanted to go in after
Yes.
Yeden's failure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Kelsier was obviously stopped. So he had the capacity to stop in him.
Yeah, but she's abandoned everything. She's not speaking to Ellen. She's not speaking. Or she Arasur tried to stop her.
Mm-hmm.
She's not stoppable. And she was not questioning. She had made the decision. And the thing that her hands, sorry, I didn't even comment on it when it happened, but her hands stopped shaking once she had made this decision. And that just shows that that's all she was doing, is just looking for a way to cope with this fear. She needs to be useful. She needs
something to do.
She needs to do something. Yeah. So she's like, fine, let's go. She's just so frustrated. Everything is just so horrible. So she once she's made this decision, it feels like everything is right. But I mean, she could have spoken to Orasur, but no, she's too far gone.
I wish Orasur had done more to
Like,
stop her.
yeah, bite her. No, but he did the Chandra thing, and maybe he's also being cautious because he doesn't want to be found out, or he doesn't want to confront Zane. But the thing is, he can't die. Well, no, but he can be really hurt by Mistborn. Mistborn can kill them. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Or at least his own population can do something to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wellen stepped back, raising his spear as Jarlo yelled the alarm. Jarlo died halfway through the call, a coin snapping through his mouth, throwing out a chip of tooth as it proceeded out the back of his head. Jarlo collapsed, and Wellen stumbled away from the corpse, knowing that it was too late to run. The coin stopped, silence in the air. Men lay dying or groaning at his feet. Then they came. 2 dark shadows of death in the night, ravens in the mist. They flew over Wellen with a rustle of dark cloth, and they left him behind, alone amid the corpses of what had once been a squad of 40 men.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't enable Zane, Vin. He's insane.
Oh, this is so gross. Okay. Oh, I've once been 40 men, and it was both of them. Sorry, you were there. Then I don't know if it was your coins or Zane's coins, but you were there.
Yeah. She's complicit.
Well, Lennon survived. Look at him.
Yay.
I hope he comes back.
He'll be the one to run to the army and be like, hey, so maybe don't attack. We should just go.
Just run.
Vin landed in a crouch, bare feet on the cool stone cobbles of the Hasting courtyard. Zane landed upright, standing, as always, with his towering air of self-confidence. Pewter blazed within her, giving her muscles the taut energy of 1,000 excited moments. She easily ignored the pain of her wounded side. I'm very glad Sanderson put that in there.
Yeah,
by the way.
We need that. Yeah, I remember early on in the first book, there was something where we're like, hey, we're not addressing the pain. We're not addressing. There was something, I think it was Calcia. Yeah.
Her sole bead of atium rested in her stomach, but she didn't use it. Not yet. Not unless she was right, and Set proved to be Mistborn.
Okay. So, she only needs the atium to fight the Mistborn. Okay, I get it. But yeah, we're still killing 40 men.
Yeah. We'll go from the bottom up, Zane said. Vin nodded. The central tower of Keep Hasting was many stories high, and they couldn't know which one Set was on. If they started low, he wouldn't be able to escape. Besides, going up would be more difficult. The energy in Vin's limbs cried for release. She'd waited, remained coiled for far too long. She was tired of weakness, tired of being restrained. She had spent months as a knife held immobile at someone's throat. It was time to cut. Ooh, that's dark for her.
Yeah. Jesus. She's really spun out. That's it. But it makes sense that this is a release now. That she has had so much worry and so much darkness just festering and festering and festering, so much fear. And she's like, okay, now I need to cut someone.
The two dashed forward. Torches began to light around them as Set's men, those who camped in the courtyard, awakened to the alarm. Tents unfurled and collapsed, men yelling in surprise, looking for the army that assailed them. They could only wish that they were so lucky.
Uh,
Ooh.
just a comment at the two, like, okay, we have them as like a couple now, or like they're together. I'm wondering if they're gonna actually enjoy this because they're
Mm-hmm.
Mr. together. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or have a moment that it's because they're being cool and Miss together, and and Vin will feel good about that.
Vin jumped straight up into the air, and Zane spun, throwing a bag of coins around him. Hundreds of bits of copper sparkled in the air beneath her. A peasant's fortune. Vin landed with a rustle, and they both pushed, their power throwing the coins outward. The torch-sparkled missiles ripped through the camp, dropping surprised, drowsy men. Vin and Zane
Mhm.
continued toward the central tower. A squad of soldiers had formed up at the tower's front. They still seemed disoriented, confused, and sleepy, but they were armed with metal armor and steel weapons, a choice that, had they truly been facing an enemy army, would have been wise. Oof.
Ooh. Oh my god, they're gonna be thrown all the fuck around. Oh my god. I'm I'm laughing because it's horrible, because I'm just thinking of the guy on the horse and phew, okay.
Zane and Vin slid into the midst of the soldiers. Zane tossed a single coin into the air between them. Vin reached out and pushed against it, feeling Zane's weight as he also pushed. Braced against each other, they both pushed in opposite directions. See, they're working in tandem, it seems, or
Mhm.
feels like, through
Yep.
these passages. And that's not good. I mean, it's good, but it's not good.
No, they're bonding, and basically remember what I was saying, like,
It's
when
like a
remember when they were
dance.
sparring? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a dance, and then also just the fact it is like them touching each other when
Mm-hmm.
they feel the push of each other. So it's like this is becoming like it is becoming like a dance, and
Mm-hmm.
they are not communicate. They're not using words. They're just instinctually going together, which is going
Yeah.
to make her feel good.
Yep. Braced against each other, they both pushed in opposite directions, throwing their weight against the breastplates of the soldiers to either side. With flared steel and pewter holding each other steady, their pushes scattered the soldiers as if they had been slapped by enormous hands. Spears and swords twisted in the night, clattering to the cobbles. Breastplates towed bodies away. Vin extinguished her steel as she felt Zane's weight come off the coin. The sparkling bit of metal bounced to the ground between them, and Zane turned, thrusting his hand toward the single soldier who remained standing directly between Zane and the keep doors. Very cinematic, I will say.
Very cool, and I just remember the bending of the coin between her and Calcia. And
Mm-hmm.
this coin is now just being so Vin held on to that coin or whatever, and now this coin that was pushed between them is just used as another missile. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's so gross, but also very elegant.
That's such a great way to put it, though. Gross but
Mm.
elegant. What a contradiction?
Mhm.
Juxtaposition? No.
Yeah,
Contrast?
juxtaposition,
What a
contrast, same
contrast,
thing.
yeah. A squad of soldiers raced up behind Zane, but they suddenly halted as he pushed against them, then sent the transfer of weight directly into the lone soldier. The unfortunate man crashed backward into the keep doors. Bones crunched. The doors were flung
Mm.
open as the soldier burst into the room beyond. Zane ducked through the doorway, and Vin moved smoothly behind him, her bare feet leaving rough cobbles and falling on smooth marble instead. Okay,
Mm.
they're in. They're in the building.
Yep. That's it.
Soldiers waited inside. These didn't wear armor, and they carried large wooden shields to block coins. They were armed with staves or obsidian swords. Haze killers, men trained specifically to fight allomancers. There were perhaps 50 of them. Okay, we expected the
Okay.
difficulty level to rise.
Yeah, you've done level 1. We were expecting this. Remember back when seeing haze killers was absolutely terrifying because there were people trained to fight allomancers, and that was the biggest threat that Vin was coming against because she'd never seen them before.
Yes.
Oh, remember those good old days.
She's much improved since then.
Mhm.
And of course, she's Mistborn, not some misting.
Allomancer. Yeah, yeah. And she's got Zane there, and they're very in sync.
Yeah.
Now it begins in earnest.
Vin thought, leaping into the air and pushing off the door's hinges. Zane led by pushing on the same man he'd used to break open the doors, throwing the corpse toward a group of haze killers. Visceral, dark.
He's
As the
just using it. Yeah.
As the soldier crashed into them, Vin landed amid a second group. She spun on the floor, whipping out her legs and flaring pewter, tripping 4 men. As the others tried to strike, she pushed down against a coin in her pouch, ripping it free and throwing herself upward. She spun in the air, catching a falling staff discarded by a toppled soldier. Obsidian cracked against the white marble where she had been. Vin came down with her own weapon and struck, attacking faster than anyone should be able to, hitting ears, chins, and throats. Skulls cracked, bones broke. She was barely breathing hard when she found all 10 of her opponents fallen.
Ooh.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
she's
We know this.
raging.
Vin's deadly. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's again gross and elegant. 10 men. Didn't Calcia once tell me he had trouble with half a dozen haze killers?
No time to think. Well, sure, but he didn't have another Mistborn to fight them with.
Yeah.
Also, you're probably better than him.
Yeah, she is probably. But like because he hadn't also remember he hadn't been misborn for very long either.
Yeah, true. No time to think. A large group of soldiers charged her. She yelled and jumped toward them, throwing her staff into the face of the first man she met. The others raised their shields, surprised, but Vin whipped out a pair of obsidian daggers as she landed. She rammed them into the thighs of 2 men before her, then spun past them, attacking flesh where she saw it.
Oh, come on. I don't want this. Okay, like I know it's all very cool, but I'm not enjoying this.
No.
It's very cool, I suppose. Maybe I need to reread, but at the moment, all this is doing is hurting me.
I'm sorry, do you need a break?
No, 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 no. Let's go.
Okay. It's tough. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm going through it somewhat quickly. So I
Mm-mm.
do want to take a moment to
Yeah.
note that this is visceral,
Mhm. Yeah.
I think. Movement flickered from the corner of her eye, and she snapped up an arm, blocking the wooden staff as it came for her head. The wood cracked, and she took the man down with a wide sweep of the dagger, nearly beheading him. She jumped backward as the others moved in, braced herself, then yanked on the armored corpse Zane had used before, pulling it toward her.
Oh god. So just okay, yes, visceral. Just remember Vin saying sorry about when she was like sorry friend when she had to throw someone and do that sort of thing. The Vin is just like, "Oh yeah, I
Oh,
need this weight. Okay, I
yeah.
just need this corpse over here.
Yeah,
Very useful. Thank you."
the fact that they're just using the corpse like a tool is
Oh.
what makes it darker.
And after we had that little like cameo with Wellen, it's like that's a Wellen that you're throwing around there. Just a
Yeah.
guy, you know. He's
It
got a whole life.
Yep. It really was, like, now that you say that, I think brilliant on Sanderson's part to introduce
Mm,
that POV there to remind
mm,
us, the readers, that these are people.
mhm. Remember, no, it wasn't Dachshund. Who was it? Somebody was upset with Calcia for killing that many people. It was Marsh, maybe. Yes, it was Marsh.
I think so,
Like
yeah.
that's exactly it. Because Dachshund didn't care. He was also as brutal.
Hmm. Shields did little good against a missile so large. Vin smashed the corpse into her opponents, sweeping them before her. To the side, she could see the remnants of the Haze Killers who had attacked Zane. Zane stood among them, a black pillar before the fallen, arms outstretched. He met her eyes, then nodded toward the rear of the chamber.
The remnants? Jeez. Okay. Zane ripped it up. Jeez.
Vin ignored the few remaining Haze Killers. She pushed against the corpse and sent herself sliding across the floor. Zane jumped up, pushing back, shattering his way through a window and into the mists. Vin quickly did a check of the back rooms. No Set. She turned and took down a straggling Haze Killer as she ducked into the lift shaft. Oof. She needed no elevator. She shot straight up on a pushed coin, bursting out onto the third floor. Zane would take the second. Okay. Okay.
Did they discuss this? They're just instinctually. Okay.
I guess, but call me crazy, but I don't think they should, like, split up. Particularly if there's another Mistborn around.
Yeah, they shouldn't split up, and also I want to know what Zane's doing. Like, I know he's probably just killing people, but who knows if he gets to the people first, you know? I don't trust him.
I am predicting now that Zane is going to make Vin be the one to strike the killing blow against Set.
I see that happening.
Yeah.
Although I don't think there will be any making about it if she's this angry anyway.
He'll certainly be encouraging it. What I mean is Zane will have an opportunity to kill Set, regardless of whether or not Vin is the one to do it or wants to be the one to do it or whatever, and he'll deliberately set the situation up so that Vin is the one to do it, and then he will encourage her to. Vin landed quietly on the marble floor, hearing footsteps come down a stairwell beside her. She recognized this large open room. It was the chamber where she and Ellen had met Set for dinner. It was now empty, even the table removed, but she recognized the circular perimeter of stained glass windows. Haze Killers burst from the kitchen rooms. Dozens.
There must be another stairwell back there,
Vin thought as she darted toward the stairwell beside her. Dozens more were coming out from there, and the two groups moved to surround her. 50-1 must have seemed like good odds for the men, and they charged confidently. She glanced at the open kitchen doors and saw no Set beyond. This floor was clear. Are we assuming Set's at the top?
I suppose he would be. Is he there? Is this a switcheroo? Is Set not there?
Ooh, he might have tried to sneak out. Yeah. What are the odds Set is gonna get out, make his way to Keep Venture, and be like, Ellen, protect me, please?
I don't think that's a thing, but
I mean, that could be
Ellen,
the fight.
Protect me, please.
But that,
who knows?
See, I think Set is someone who would beg for his life if he had to, and that could be the catalyst for the fight. Set gets out, he runs to Ellen because he knows Ellen Venture is a good man, and he's like, I've learned my lesson, I'm sorry, don't let Vin kill me, and that could cause the fight between Vin and Ellen, who's like, I have to kill him, I have to protect you. And Ellen's like, no, Vin, don't do it.
I don't think it can get. I think that is an interesting way it could go, but I don't think it would get that far. I
agree.
I think Vin's just going to be so. Vin and Zane are in such a frenzy right now. It's just there's no. I don't think he would escape.
Yeah, no, I don't think Set's getting out of that tower alive. But dramatics, yeah.
Set certainly brought a lot of Haze Killers. Oh.
She thought, backing quietly to the center of the room. Save for the stairwell, kitchens, and pillars, the room was mostly surrounded in arched stained glass windows.
So she's really... Look, why is Sanderson making her note that there's a lot of Haze Killers? Like, why is he doing that?
Maybe he either expected this or he doesn't have any mistings.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. He doesn't have mistings, he's not a Mistborn. Well, here we go, this is why. He planned for my attack. Or he tried to.
Yeah, but he definitely didn't expect 2 Mistborn. For one thing, but also, this is gonna cause an issue for Breeze and Alrion too, I think. Not like Breeze and Alrion relationship together. I mean, Alrion and Vin, and then Breeze and Vin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You went and killed her whole family.
Yeah.
If she was there, would you have killed her? Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Vin ducked down as the waves of men surrounded her. She turned her head up, eyes closed, and burned Duralumin. Then she pulled. Stained glass windows set in metal frames inside their arches exploded around the room. She felt the metal frames burst inward, twisting on themselves before her awesome power. She imagined twinkling slivers of multicolored glass in the air. She heard men scream as glass and metal hit them, embedding in their flesh. Only the outer
Jeez.
layer. Yeah.
So cool. Damn it, why? So cool, but I can't get on board with it, but it's so cool. So interesting little slivers of like so cinematic.
This is a Mistborn Unleashed, and that element of
Mm-hmm.
this is very fun.
Yeah, that's I can't. It's very small for me. That fun element is very small.
Yeah. She imagined twinkling slivers of multicolored glass in the air. She heard men scream as glass and metal hit them, embedding in their flesh. Only the outer layer of men would die from the blast. Vin opened her eyes and jumped as a dozen dueling canes fell around her. She passed through a hail of attacks. Some hit. It didn't matter. She couldn't feel pain at the moment. Oof. That's not necessarily a good thing. Anyway, she pushed against a broken metal frame, throwing herself over the heads of soldiers, landing beyond the fallen outer row of men. Vin raised a hand and bowed her head. Duralumin and steel. She pushed. The world lurched. Vin shot out into the mists through a broken window as she pushed against the line of corpses impaled by metal frames. The bodies were thrown away from her, smashing into the men who were still alive in the center.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's so fucking cool. That's crazy, but it's so cool. Oh, Ben. Like,
So
wow. So powerful.
she's getting very good at using Duralumin in fights.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that we don't see that actually Zane is not seeing this. Because, well, if he is, then he's going to be asking, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah,
You
so
know, how are
help
you
me,
that
Vin.
powerful?
If you ever tell him about Duralumin, I will be raging.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So help me, Vin, if you ever tell him about being able to pierce copper clouds.
Just
Yeah.
don't tell him anything. Actually, just put him down, okay? He's a bit of a rabid dog.
Yeah. Dead, dying, and unharmed were swept from the room, pushed out the window opposite Vin. Bodies twisted in the mists, 50 men thrown into the night, leaving the room empty, save for trails of blood and discarded bits of glass. Man, what kind of effect do you think this will have on Straff? I guess Straff is
Sure.
relying on Penrod to secure the kingship legally. So there's that, I suppose, but
Yeah, Straff seeing what she can do is also a big deal. She's supposed to be dispatched by
by
Zane,
Zane, yeah.
but I guess and maybe Straff is also hoping they just kill each other,
That too.
solve the problem themselves.
Vin downed a vial of metals as the mists rushed around her. Then she pulled herself back toward the keep using a window on the 4th floor. As she approached, a corpse crashed through the window, falling out into the night. She caught a glimpse of Zane disappearing out another window on the opposite side. This level was clear. Yeah, Zane's gonna find Set first, and he's going to wait for Vin.
Yeah. Because this is, but also I think Vin wants this. Vin wants that kill. She doesn't need convincing, so
True.
she'll like that she got the kill. Like,
True.
but I do feel like Zane will wait for her because this is I'm giving this to you.
Mm-hmm.
I care about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lights burned on the 5th floor. They probably could have come here first, but that wasn't the plan. Zane was right. They didn't just need to kill Set. They needed to terrify his entire army. Vin pushed against the same corpse that Zane had thrown out the window, using its metal armor as an anchor. It shot down at an angle, passing inside the frame of a broken window, and Vin soared upward at the same angle away from the building. A quick pull directed her back to the building once she reached the elevation she needed. She landed at a window on the 5th floor. Vin grasped the stone sill, heart thumping, breaths coming in deep gasps. Sweat made her face cold in the winter breeze. Despite the heat burning within her, she gulped eyes wide and flared her pewter. Mistborn.
Yeah, she's enjoying it. I told you. Mistborn. Yeah, look at me. Look, I'm sure it is freaking cool. I mean, if it looks cool, it probably feels cool. So that's what she's doing. She's like thrilled. She's feeling the thrill over here.
She is.
But
She totally
as
is.
a girl. Oops. Yeah.
Girl thrill. She shattered the window with a slap. The soldiers that waited beyond jumped backwards, spinning. One wore a metal belt buckle. He died first. The other 20 barely knew how to react as the buckle buzzed through their ranks, twisting between Vin's pushes and pulls. They had been trained, instructed, and even tested against Allomancers, but they had never fought Vin.
Yeah, Vin's really feeling herself here. Woo!
Yeah, and
She should.
this is a well-written chapter thus far in terms of the prose, by the way.
Yes.
It all
Yeah.
flows really nicely, and it's keeping up her, I don't want to say manic energy, but her intensity, rather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her intensity, her fury. But so it's chaotic, but also at the same time very efficient. She's killing efficiently. She's just pa 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 pa. She's going through everyone. And yeah, the more she kills, the more she like gets a kind of rush of this bloodlust kind of thing. It's like, yes, I finally get to be good at things and do this is what I'm good at. This is who I am. Mistborn. Yeah.
Men screamed and fell, Vin ripping through their ranks with only the buckle as a weapon. Before the force of her pewter, tin, steel, and iron, the possible use of atium seemed an incredible waste. Without it, she was a terrible weapon, one that until this moment she hadn't truly understood. Mistborn. The last man fell. Vin stood among them, feeling a numbing sense of satisfaction. She let the belt buckle slip from her fingers. It hit carpet. She stood in a room that wasn't unadorned, as the rest of the building had been. There was furniture here, and there were some minor decorations. Perhaps Ellen's clearing crews hadn't gotten this far before Set's arrival, or perhaps he'd simply brought some of his own comforts. Behind her was the stairwell. In front of her was a fine wooden wall set with a door, the inner apartments. Vin stepped forward quietly, mist cloak rustling as she pulled 4 lamps off the brackets behind her. They whipped forward, and she sidestepped, letting them crash into the wall. Fire blossomed across splattered oil, billowing across the wall, the force of the lamps breaking the door on its hinges. She raised a hand, pushing it fully open.
Oh, the coolness just does not stop. Just hit after hit. But it just makes me think of like that first attack where we were so upset with Calcia for like letting her come into this when I think it was Critic Shaw, like letting her or some attack that she was on for the first time, and I remember her like noticing the red of the blood when someone was killed or something like that, and now she's just no wanton. It's and she's like, I never understood basically she's like she never understood her power, and now she does because she can see how deadly she is now that she's unleashed. And I guess that is quite a, you've been restrained forever, and she has so much rage to tap into. So this makes a lot of sense. She is so flippin' deadly. She's a bit scary actually.
Yeah.
She's cool, but she's so scary.
It just hurts because she's making such a big mistake.
Yeah, this is not going to. This feels good now, Vin, but I don't think it's going to make you feel good later.
Fire dripped around her as she stepped into the room beyond. The richly decorated chamber was quiet and eerily empty save for 2 figures. Set sat in a simple wooden chair, bearded, sloppily dressed, and looking very, very tired. Set's young son stepped in between Set and Vin. The boy held a dueling cane. Oh, she's gonna... No, I don't
She's gonna kill the boy!
Yeah.
Okay. So which one is Mistborn?
The boy swung. Vin caught the weapon, then shoved the boy to the side. He crashed into the wooden wall, then slumped to the ground. Vin eyed him. Leave Njondin alone, woman, Set said. Do what you came to do. He's He thinks she's not gonna kill the son too.
I she has the opportunity here to do that, to not kill him. And how many times has Sanderson used the word boy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so if she does kill him, that is to use the same word. It's just so good, just visceral. Oh my God, Vin.
Yeah.
Not just the men, the women and the children too. That's
Yeah.
basically what I'm feeling here.
But here's the thing. If you're gonna kill Set like this, Vin, you have to kill Njornden. Because Njorden's gonna want vengeance, because that's what this path
Yeah,
leads to.
it makes sense, yeah. So you do have to kill him, but
Leave Njornden alone, woman. Do what you came to do. Vin turned toward the nobleman. She remembered her frustration, her rage, her cool, icy anger. She stepped forward and grabbed Set by the front of his suit.
fight me!
She said, and tossed him backward. He slammed against the back wall, then slumped to the ground. Vin prepared her at him, but he did not rise. He simply rolled to the side, coughing. Vin walked over, pulling him up by one arm. He balled a fist, trying to strike her, but he was pathetically weak. She let the blows bounce off her side. Yeah, so I can't. She's beating up a guy in a wheelchair. That's going to be tough to make into a movie. I gotta say.
She actually, yeah, she is. She is. And it seems like this is actually showing us that part of this her that what made her able to rage at him so much is this belief that he's mistborn, that he's just as
Mm-hmm.
dangerous as she is. That makes, like, he's not a guy in a wheelchair. That's made it okay for her, right? But
Mm-hmm.
this is reminding her, no, actually it's not. So what happens then, Vin, when we realize that yes, he is dangerous, but he's definitely not as dangerous as you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing here? From Ellen's point of view, like, you've made your point, I suppose. You've done enough damage. Yeah. Now you're just killing a cripple and his son, his
Mm-hmm.
boy, in front
But,
of him. Yeah.
yeah. Of course, Set is supposed to seem pathetic, I think, in this moment,
Mhm.
to us, the readers, for this
Yes.
very effect of making what Vin
Mhm.
is doing that much worse. But, I mean, let's also not pretend Set didn't lead an army here
Yeah.
and threaten to
Exactly.
enslave the Ska again. So there is that.
Yeah. It's not like he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So sorry. You're crippled, but that doesn't make you a good guy.
He slammed against the back wall, then slumped to the ground. Vin prepared her at him, but he did not rise. He simply rolled to the side, coughing. Vin walked over, pulling him up by one arm. He balled a fist, trying to strike her, but he was pathetically weak. She let the blows bounce off her side.
Fight me.
She commanded, tossing him to the side. He tumbled across the floor, head hitting hard, and came to rest against the burning wall, a trickle of blood running from his brow. He didn't rise. Is he dead? Did that do it?
Oh shit. She just threw him against the wall. She's just like, ah, here. Wow.
Did
Yeah,
and his head's
you could
bleeding.
crush him. Yeah.
Vin gritted her teeth, striding forward. Leave him alone! The boy Njornden stumbled in front of Set, raising his dueling cane in a wavering hand. Vin paused, cocking her head. The boy's brow was streaked with sweat, and he was unsteady on his feet. She looked into his eyes and saw absolute terror therein. This boy was no Mistborn, yet he held his ground. Pathetically, hopelessly, he stood before the body of the fallen Set. Oh, hopefully that reminds her of Elend doing that when he rescued her.
Yes, he was pathetically, yes, you're so right. The parallel. Oh my god. He was standing there with this cane, like, just trying to help her, and then she just basically just wasted everybody. She didn't kill everyone, I
Yep.
don't think. She just knocked them all out. Oh, that's so good. Good catch.
And Njornden gains like 1,000 cool points for this.
Yeah, because standing, we know how terrifying Vin is right now, but he's standing and he's like, get away
Protecting
from
his
him.
dad.
Yeah, and he's facing down Dark Vin.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Step aside, son, Set said in a tired voice. There is nothing you can do here. The boy started to shake, then began to weep.
Tears.
Vin thought, feeling an oddly surreal feeling cloud her mind. She reached up, surprised to find wet streaks on her own cheeks.
Ah. Yes, Vin, you are in pain. This is you being in pain. You
Mm-hmm.
killing and all of this is you in pain. So your body is crying because yeah, this is not you.
Okay, what if she is like, okay, I'm not gonna kill you, and then Zane comes in and steals the
Mhm.
kill, and then she ends up essentially being viewed as responsible anyway, even though she didn't do it.
Okay, yes, she's viewed as responsible. She can't handle that because she thinks she's like Ellen won't believe me that it wasn't me, but also I did kill those people anyway. I did kill
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm.
So Ellen, before she even speaks to Ellen, she's like, "Oh shit, I got to get out of here," because the same sort of it's like a repeat of that thing where she thought Ellen was wildly disturbed by her killing those assassins.
Mm-hmm.
This is now the real deal where he should be and would be really cut up about this, about her doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no discussion between them. There's no, this is why I did it, Ellen. I'm sorry. There's no any of that. There's just, I need to run away because I'm so ashamed.
Yep.
Oh, this is really, wow, this is brilliant. Like, I'm not saying it's happening and it's brilliant, but I'm saying like just the fact that this is the possibility at one point in a paragraph, and then you go to the next one and it changes. Best.
Mm-hmm.
You have no Mistborn.
She whispered. Set had struggled to a half-reclining position, and he looked into her eyes.
No Allomancers faced us this night. You used them all on the assassination attempt in the assembly hall.
I sent my only Allomancers against you 2 months ago, Set said with a sigh. Oh, that's gonna prove Zane's a liar, but she's not gonna
Yes,
hear it.
is
Unless
she?
she is gonna
Oh,
hear
come on.
it, and then we're about to head
Ah,
into a Zane Vin fight.
and she's not at 100%. Oh, God.
Ooh, oh no, is this how Zane's gonna. No.
Oh, beats her up and then takes her.
Mm hmm. Mm hmm. And then Ellen thinks that Vin abandoned him.
Oh God, just see, we went 2 lines and and the possibilities have gone crazy, right?
Oh no. I sent my only Allomancers against you 2 months ago. They were all I ever had, my only hope of killing you. And they weren't from my family. My whole line has been corrupted by Scar blood. Orion is the only Allomancer to be born to us for centuries.
You came to Lutherdale.
Because Straff would have come for me eventually, Set said. My best chance, lass, was to kill you early on. That's why I sent them all against you. Failing that, I knew I had to try to take this damn city and its atium so I could buy myself some Allomancers. You see how that turned out.
Are you okay with this exposition?
Um, a little bit insofar as I hope it serves that Vin realizes Zane is a liar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this discussion sort of thing is like it is okay because Vin has been in a frenzy and this is now she's crying. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird moment for her. She's in this weird surreal place. So we're gonna just have a conversation and you're
Yeah.
gonna reveal the truth. And he's defeated, so he's just like, "Ugh, that was the only hope." And yeah, okay. So it's not like, oh, reveal the plan kind of exposition. It's just you got me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna die anyway. Yeah. You could have just offered us an alliance.
And I like that line a lot because that really speaks to Ellen's collaborative politics. It's not
Mhm.
impossible.
Yes, and it does also remind us of his responsibility of what he's done, sets decisions.
Mm-hmm. Set chuckled, pulling himself up to a sitting position. It doesn't work that way in real politics. You take or you get taken. Besides, I've always been a gambling man. He looked up at her, meeting her eyes. Do what you came to, he repeated. I'm surprised he doesn't say, do what you came to, but spare my son, or something like
Mm,
that. I mean, he
I think
kind of did a lukewarm let it
mm,
happen son prior to this,
mm,
but I am surprised he's not more vocal about her sparing his son.
Maybe he's just, because he's such a nihilist or whatever, just such a pessimist. He's like, oh well, that's how politics goes. She's going to kill us both. So
It's true too.
he's that kind of character. He's literally, he didn't even consider alliance because he's like, that's not possible.
Do what you came to, he repeated. Vin shivered. She couldn't feel her tears. She could barely feel anything.
Why can't I make sense of anything anymore?
The room began to shake. Vin spun, looking toward the back wall. The wood there quivered and spasmed like a dying animal. Nails began to pop, ripping backward through the paneling. Then the entire wall burst away from Vin. Burning boards, splinters, nails, and shingles sprayed in the air. Flying around a man in black, Zane stood sideways in the room beyond, death strewn at his feet, hands at his sides. Oh no, what is he gonna...
Yep. So she might... Okay, so this is her maybe not going to be able to kill.
Did she decide not to do it?
Yeah, I think she was. She was not going to do it. And now Zane bursts in.
Red streamed from the tips of his fingers, running in a steady drip. He looked up through the burning remnants of the wall, smiling. Then he stepped towards Set's room.
Oh, here we go. No!
Vin said, dashing at him. Zane paused, surprised. He stepped to the side, easily dodging Vin, walking towards Set and the boy.
Zane, leave them.
I'm so proud of you, Vin.
Yes,
I'm disappointed, but proud.
Yeah, you still killed hundreds. Okay, I'm telling you, it's hundreds. You still did that, but you could have gone all the way, and you didn't. And the fact that you're saying no here, whatever happens, the fact is you did say no. You did try. Okay.
Zane paused, surprised. Do you think Zane is going to listen? No, he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it.
Yeah, I don't think Vin's going to do it. Because I don't think there's convincing Vin now. I feel like Vin, the fact that she's already said no and kind of walked in front of them and whatever, she would probably take him on.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he could say, okay, listen, don't read ahead. Maybe you did. But I don't feel like he can say anything to convince her that she'll kill them now. I feel like she's snapped out of it.
Okay.
Mm.
Zane paused, surprised. He stepped to the side, easily dodging Vin, walking towards Set and the boy.
Zane, leave them,
Vin said, turning toward him, pushing herself in a skid across the room. She reached for his arm. The black fabric glistened wet with blood, none of it his own. Zane dodged. He turned toward her, curious. She reached for him.
Wait. Sorry. What? The black fabric glistened wet with blood that was only his own. That's what it says in my book.
Really?
The black fabric glistened wet with blood that was only his own. What's the line in yours?
The black fabric glistened wet with blood, none of it his own. So those are two opposite sentences then.
Oh, that's very... Yeah, was he cut? So I don't know if this is a mistake, or are you implying that he's been cutting himself?
Oh, yeah, because that is something that he does. Because the phrase none of it his own suggests that Zane has been very messy with his kills. But yours...
But how would she know? Like, look, what I'm saying is, how does she know it's his blood? So it makes more sense that that's just a mistake in this edition, because that she wouldn't know it's his blood.
Yeah, not a clue. Zane dodged. He turned toward her, curious. She reached for him, but he moved out of the way with supernatural ease, outstepping her like a master swordsman facing a young boy.
Atium, he probably burned it this entire time, but he didn't need it to fight those men. They didn't have a chance against us anyway.
Okay, hopefully that means that Vin will have an edge in the fight. If he's burning through the atium super quickly, and she saved it for this moment. Don't do the video game thing, Vin, where you don't use your atium.
Yeah, don't hoard your resources, okay? He's just playing a different game. He's got a different build, whatever. Let him do that. But yeah, I hope so. I hope that, and that just makes me go, yeah, Vin, you're that cool that you did all of this. Atium is never a thing for you unless there's a Mistborn.
Yeah.
You don't just play around with that stuff. She never did. Please leave them.
Zane turned towards Set, who sat, expectant. The boy was at his side, trying to pull his father away. Zane looked back at her, head cocked.
Please.
Vin repeated. Zane frowned. He still controls you then, he said, sounding disappointed. Up yours, Zane. She made that choice. She is
Yes,
making the choice here.
Yes, she has her own goodness. It's not just Ellen. You just decided, you, Mr. Projection, decided that Ellen is the only morality that Vin has. Otherwise, she's just like you, and you guys could just go off into the sunset, killing everybody. No, Vin actually, she's complicated. Okay, we know she has rage, but she herself, we knew this whole time we were saying she's not going to feel okay about this at the end. We knew that because we know that she has goodness in her, and she had that before Ellen.
Look. Okay, so if Zane leaves and Set survives this, do you think Set will have been sufficiently cowed enough to accept an alliance and fight off Straff? Because without accepting kingship over the city, because during that moment at the brink of Set's death, Vin did say you could have just asked for an alliance. So maybe now he will trust that Vin and Elend are serious about or earnestly wanting that alliance. Not like it's easy to agree to that, considering Set marched on the city, but nonetheless, beggars can't be choosers at the moment, I think.
Yeah, exactly. He's not in the position to actually reject that. That's the best way out for him is getting into an alliance with
a genuine,
Ellen.
earnest alliance.
Yeah, because he's also just been his numbers have just been
decimated,
greatly diminished.
Not decimated, yeah, diminished.
Yeah, and he has no mistborn. Now we know that he has no mistborn. So his cards are on the table. Everything is down, and yeah. If I don't know, I don't think he survives this. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see.
He still controls you then. I thought maybe if you could fight and see exactly how powerful you were, you'd shake yourself free of Ellen's grip. I guess I was wrong. Then he turned his back on Set and walked out through the hole he had made. Vin followed quietly, feet crunching. No, Vin, stay and offer him the alliance. Go to Set and be like, I will let you live, but you will help us fight Straff, and then you will go back to... Come on, Vin. Okay, no, she's fine. She's not of a mindset to do that. I get it.
Yeah, but she stays with Zane. I don't know. What are they going to do? I want that conversation straight after.
Yeah. Vin followed quietly, feet crunching splinters of wood as she slowly withdrew, leaving the broken keep's shattered army and humiliated lord behind. What a chapter.
Wow. That's a great blind.
Yeah, thanks for suggesting it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jeez.
So many ways that could have gone, too. Wow. Now I want to know. I want to see the Elend and Vin fallout from that. I think there will be some disturbedness coming from Elend, but I think his proudness of her for not killing Set will overshadow the she killed hundreds of guards and soldiers element.
Eventually. I think that would take time. Because it's also like she went around with Zane. She hasn't been talking to him about Zane. She never told him. Like, there's a lot about Zane he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that there's a big distance between these two at the moment. And then this happens. I don't know. It would need a lot more than just one conversation, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Is there anything else to say? This was a great chapter.
Yeah, I need
action.
I need some coffee. This was such a great chapter. That's all I'll say. Also like the video, and thank you again for suggesting this as a blind.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to that Don Kite if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Good, bye.